Welcome, friends, to the Wednesday morning edition of the Grace Hour. Once again, broadcasting live from our studios, which are located at the home of the Greater Grace World Outreach in Baltimore, Maryland. Great to be with you, friends, on this Wednesday morning. And usually on a Wednesday morning, myself and Pastor Barry Quirk would be hosting the broadcast. He's a bit under the weather, and Pastor Steve Andrulonis has graciously made himself available to join us in the studio today, so we'll be your hosts for the next 45 minutes or so as we continue to develop the theme that you've been listening to, if you have been tuning into the Grace Hour already this week, the subject of forgiveness. And, of course, Pastor Steve, I think it goes without saying that this is an important theme in every believer's life, not only for what we have to receive from God, which is, of course, His forgiveness, but learning how to forgive others. There's the challenge for all of us in life.
For sure. And I think we're talking on a level, as believers in Jesus Christ. But when we think about it, when we look at the world, I don't know, we've both been on the world about the same number of years, but I don't ever remember such a significant and in-your-face way people deal with each other. Like, no one can be forgiven. It's just like you're not even forgiving things that happened 400 years ago. It's impossible. This demand for sort of making amends for something that happened. And I think maybe that points to our question is what is the question today? Why do we need to forgive? Why is it important to forgive? Why? And I think we think does anyone deserve forgiveness? That's, I guess, a big question. Does anyone deserve it?
No.
No, none of us deserve it.
Nope.
But Christ gave it after being rejected by his nation, rejected by the religious leaders, and then railroaded by the judicial system of the Roman Empire and nailed to a cross without the requisite number of witnesses. For the ecclesiastical, pharisaical Sanhedrin trial, and then also for the Roman system of justice, it was all a miscarriage, of justice, and maybe abortion is better because it was done on purpose. Maybe that's a better word than miscarriage. Miscarriages happen usually but abortion is a decision of the will, and Jesus said on the cross, Father, forgive them; they know not what they do. And I think that's to say, who does forgiveness damage the most, right?
Yeah, that's the question that I hope we'll tackle today and answer, because it's all important. And you mentioned, of course, that that was the 7 sayings. There were 7 sayings that Jesus uttered from the cross.
Yes.
In my mind, the one that most deeply touched the thief who responded to Jesus and exercised faith in him had to be those words, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. I mean, obviously, he could have heard Jesus say, I thirst. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Any number of those sayings he could have heard and listened to. Even it is finished, and not even fully understanding what that means, as we do today. But when he heard, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, I mean, that had to just capture his